Hi, thanks for coming by my channel. I'm GhostPrime. I'm going to take a look at the second monster bot from the crossover with Universal Studios. This is Transformers crossover with Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
So this is their take on Frankenstein's monster from the movie Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
And actually, he's really cool. He's a partial of him in the earlier Siege Impactor, and he has a bunch of retooled parts, as we would expect, and completely repainted. I like this line so far. I think this is really cool. I think both of these releases have been really awesome, the Dracula and this one. Spoiler, I actually really dig this. But I'll be going over all the different little details on them. And I would love to see the rest of them. I would love to see all the Universal Studios monsters done up in a Transformer form. I hope that's the plan because these are really cool. But I'm a horror fan. I like that type of stuff. So that's just me. These kind of fit right into what I like. Anyway, please let me know what you think of this guy. You getting him? And don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs down button if you have to. Without any further ado, let's get to the review. And before we get the figure, let's take a look at this beautiful box. It's much like the last one we got, the Dracula one. It is done up like an old VHS tape. You can see it on the side. And if you pull out on there, you can see VHS. It's very cool to display. It's really, really neat. I like that. So you have Frankenstein right there, Frankentron, and some Cybertronium, which I have not deciphered yet. You let me know in the comments what that says. There he is in the back with the different pictures of things you could do with his like electricity and the ball in the front. It says Frankenstein on the side, Frankenstein on the top, Frankenstein right there, and Frankentron there. And we get some really nice box art. Very, very cool. In the box, he's packaged like this, and this has a stop right here, so it doesn't really, it won't fall out. But it is open window, so I don't know if they have these in the stores. Because they have these stores like this, you can just probably pull this thing out. It's not very good to sign the stores, but it's pretty good to display it like this. If you don't want to take things out of the box or whatever, you can actually see the figure. There he is. Kind of a cool display piece. I dig it. I dig that a lot. Very, very cool. Let's get him open. Let's get him out of the package. Just look at him close up. Get him out of the package. Here's what you get. You get one of his weapons here, which is like a kind of a spark, almost looks like a Tesla coil. So that's kind of cool. You know, for electricity.
There's the possibility of electrocution.
Speaking of electricity, you do get a bunch of electrical like blast effects. So you could have it kind of do like a Megatron cannon on the side. So that I think that works pretty well. You could even put it on top here. If you can see it like on top of the cannon. So that actually works pretty well. There's a port if you don't want this at all. Kind of like that. Kind of gives them an antenna of sorts, so you can electricity, you know. There's cool things you could do with it. You can't turn his hands at all, the wrists, so that is, I mentioned before, that is annoying. But I mean, he has all the regular articulation. Otherwise, like the what do you call it? Biceps, shoulder, 360 here, 360 at the head, a little bit of up and down, side to side. He has a waist, articulation. He has leg, front and back, 90 the knee. He has short knees though. He has ankle tilts. That's pretty. So you can get him in decent poses, but I mean, you don't need, Frankenstein's monster doesn't need an action pose. He's kind of just stands there with his hands like, like that, Getting close up on his face. I get that in focus. Very monstrous face. Very Frankenstein's monster. Moving on down. I like this color green they use. I think it's really cool color green. It doesn't show up the same on camera as it does in person. Actually, it's a really nice looking green. At least I think so. It's pleasing to my eyes. I like all the paint detail on here. I'm kind of how they broke it up. Love the Decepticon logo on the side there. Moving around the back, you see some purple show up and some silver bits on the arms. Even the back of the head's painted. But I like all the retooling, like the little spikes right there, or rivets, I guess. And on the chest piece, there's a lot of redone parts, like the hands. Now, the hands, are meant to be like, you know, Frankenstein's monster. It's always like this, right? But like, it would be nicer if they had wrist swivel. He doesn't have wrist swivel. He's pretty much the same as Impactor. Exactly. I mean, that's what he's a retool of. And I realized I never did a review of my Impactor, but I did get one, and here he is. So there's Impactor. So you can see a lot of the different retooled pieces. He has the same crotch and torso piece, but the chest is completely different. And like the arms are the same, the hands are different, the thighs are different, the legs are the same, but with the color, do a pretty good job of making it completely different. Of course, the head's different too. Make it look different. I mean, it is primarily the same, but I think they did a good job of making them different enough to where when they're even next to each other, they actually look very, very different. So let's get him transformed into his tank mode. And so the first thing we're going to do is take his head, turn it around, take this little flap, move that open, put his head down, close the flap. Take the gun comes around, revealing a Decepticon logo, and some more painted bits. So then we're going to take the chest flap, open up that chest flap, arms go straight out, then like this, and go ahead and put that down like that. Oh, I was wrong. This actually goes like that because there's a tab there and a slot there. So we're going to go like that all the way around, and then in like that. And before we tab it, what we do, I'm just going to go ahead and move the fists all the way around, and then we're going to take this piece here. Hopefully this will stay in while we do the whole thing, and kind of just put it in there like, I think it was like this. That, and there's these, because there's tabs and holes, kind of go like that. That fits like so. There is another way you could put it in, but it's only going to be on one of these. If you put this end piece right here on one of these holes, it'll go up and down a lot more, but it'll fall off completely. So anyway, now we take his waist. Oh, Jesus, it's tight. I feel like I'm going to break this. Unclip it right there because there's a hinge. And go ahead and close the feet and open them. That. Tab the legs together via a little tab in the middle. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. Now move it back around on both sides. And there's two tabs in the back. There's a slot there. Go ahead and slot that in for both of them. There we go. And that'll hold it. And there we have the tank. And he looks pretty good in tank mode. I love some of the detail they have on there. That Decepticon logo that's actually done in a flat paint, which is very cool. So like the different, finishes are really nice. The red shows up really, really strongly there. The nice silver accent right there, and the silver accents here. They did a pretty good job on this thing overall. I get the wheels right there for the treads. The silver on the little I don't know, it's like, what do you call that? Like a cow catcher for a train. Doesn't really roll very much, but just really, really cool. And you can take this piece here, again, pop it on the end, so you could have some, electricity fighting action. Really cool. And for comparison, there he is against the original one. Interesting, they didn't put any of this like damage that they have on the original one on this one, because I think it would have really worked for him. You can see kind of how these two look different in the tank, how they look together. Anyways, quick final thoughts on this guy. So overall, he doesn't show any mold degradation, at least on my copy. No loose, floppy joints. Really nice colorations, in my opinion, on him. I really dig this as Frankenstein. Kind of wish the hands would, supinate and pronate a bit. There's no articulation besides, back and forth like that, and that's just for transformation. It's a small complaint. Otherwise, I actually really dig the sculpt. I dig the different colors on him, and I like what they did. I think this is pretty cool and pretty creative, and I'm looking forward to more of these. So I appreciate you stopping by and staying till the end of the review. And if you skipped here, well, welcome to the end. And I'll see you guys in the next review.